So we want to have a rally outside of Landlord BC's office, and the whole point of that is why are politicians listening to these losers when, to quote Vince, when they're not listening to the people and not giving the people what they want. So our demands are going to be your demands, they're the same demands. So whatever day, we're thinking late August, early September, something like that.
Nice. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Now, are we still trying to put pressure on the present one, or are we gearing ourselves up to having to fight the next one? Like I don't, like this 58 days, they're still in power, right? And they're the ones in front, right? So are we going to do all this stuff? They're going to have a real good focus on really making it really uncomfortable for them that they want to do something before they leave, look like good guys, or what? So that maybe has to become something we have to think about. Where we're focusing.
It's a good point, Dave.
I think we should still
Yes,
keep
as a
up with
response.
flyers, flyers and posters, like just keep. Yeah, like keep the campaign going, but like with having the flyers and that, like visual, need visual stuff to show them like what it is that we want, and flood it, or throw have just a big. Have a big truckload of dump right at City Hall.
Propaganda and property damage, is that right?
Yeah.
Yo, actually, so that's a good question, Dave, because Gregor and his cabal of ghouls, they have one more council meeting September 19th. So maybe we should pay them a visit? Yeah, September 19th, not bad? Yeah, September 19th. They're trying to rezone the entire city to make all single dwellings. They can turn them into duplexes, triplexes, and quadruplexes. So they want to upzone the entire city in one meeting. So let's make sure they can't do that.
September 19th. Last existing council meeting.
No, never.
I think you should be flyering and postering the whole city all the time, and when they take it down and put it back up, your flyers and posters have been amazing so far. I also think that if there are any all candidates meetings for the next city council people, you should be going and disrupting that and demanding promises from everybody there, so at least we can shame them really hard that they don't do it. And then I think after the election there should be a tent city on the ground in City Hall until they fork up the money. It looks really fucking bad on a whole new council if they have an entire tent city on their front doorstep and waiting for them. So I think putting that out there is important.
Nice. Erica?
Yeah, I was just going to say that the next council meeting, why don't we do that parade with the drums around City Hall? Like all of us, I'm sure we can get a bunch of drums out.
Let's do it. I have a question. I have one question, and I trust Diana's. I know that we can't trust these damn politicians, and it's about building our power through these 58 days, but I also kind of want to invite them here and yell at them. Does that sound fun? I don't know, invite the candidates here and tell them what's up. I don't know, as for me, it's kind of fun to be able to throw tomatoes at these people and see how they flounder around, but I don't know.
We're gonna yell at the picture.
Oh, so we have a candidate. So let's just to get the temperature, is that a waste of time, or should we do that?
No.
Should we have the candidates here? Who thinks it's a waste of time?
Hey, put up your hands.
Are we doing a
Miles?
I think to be
Candidates here, and I'll be the debater.
Who thinks if we just don't kill ourselves?
I think to be here, question them and put them in the hot seat at school. So we can ask them directly questions on what they're going to do for us.
Okay, so Diana is going to respond, and then we'll decide. you're not gonna be able, like, the thing about when we had Gregor here, was it was just Gregor, basically. He brought Andrea and a bunch of staff people with him, but we basically ignored them. So it was Gregor and like 75 people from the community. That's a dynamic where you can pressure. If you do an all candidates meeting, it's gonna be 5 or 6 politicians. They're gonna be slippery as anything. They'll probably all make some kind of vague promise. You don't have the same kind of capacity to put pressure on them in that context, and it's just gonna end up a vacuous discussion. Honestly, Vince, if you're gonna throw tomatoes, I'm down for that. Like if you're gonna hand out rotten fruit, like they're not gonna stay. Right? Like, I just don't see the value of having an all candidates meeting. It's just giving them a platform to lie to the community. If we could do it without actually putting any energy into it, I would be fine with it, but the fact is it's gonna take organizational energy, and I don't see any payoff out of it. Okay, so those are some pretty damn good points. We had David Eby and Melanie Mark here. It was a complete waste of time. But Ines was the only person who raised his hand. So now that Ines has given a motivation for his position, what's the consensus?
Well, here's the idea, then why don't we just go to where the all candidates meetings are?
Right, like Kel is saying.
That way we aren't putting up anything on a meeting or anything like that. We're just going there and be in the regular environment.
It's a good point, because we might still get them to make some promises, which strategically might help us later if they get elected.
What about making it like a candidate, all candidates debate that opens the public for like, questions that would be presented?
Right.
Like,
That's kind of what's...
What I'm saying, like making known that there would be accountable to the public for that.
It's kind of what is being proposed is that basically just like right now, except for there would be some candidates in the front, and y'all would just be launching the people's attack. So I don't know. Let's just decide on this because this is just one of the 58 days. So
Yeah, I think it'd be best if we showed up as to where they are.
Maybe we take the downtown east side to that.
yeah, why don't we just go to the why don't we just instead of doing our own, just go to just follow them around.
Yeah,
Easier.
exactly.
Okay. Nice. Does that seem? Nope. Everyone's.
Yeah, that's good.
Also, if we go disrupt an all candidates meeting in Kitts or in Mount Pleasant, we're reaching an audience beyond the downtown east side.
Very good point. All very good points. I'm seeing. Yeah. Right on. We should size up our banner. We have a few, but they're not that size. Okay. Other thoughts?
What's going on? Feeling good?
Jack?
Represent will be quite one social housing will be quite one we usually have any most quite one pool has a great most one pool like one has like 100 years old like the one we usually have all built usually like the very most development for quite like one on any housing for quite like any idea like one on this place will be quite like exactly on any other like certain stuff like any more like that one on the ground.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you.
The city has public hearings every week and usually the applications are through upzone neighborhoods. So maybe it could be possible to conduct these public hearings and
Yes, so that's good. And the big one is on September 19th. Are there any others to respond? Are there other
I don't think there's any other council sessions.
We can look at it.
I think there might be one like in a week. And then in August they go on holiday. Okay, the mic doesn't work past this point, so.
Possibly like go around and see for homeless people who would possibly want to live there. If they just get turned into housing, a list of people's names that would want to move into there. So that you can do that for them and show that that's a proof of concept that these people need these homes, that these are names of people that actually want to be on the list when it does happen.
That's a sweet.
Okay, if you want to speak, you gotta come to the front now because the battery is fading. Bill? Did you want? Oh, I know, it's because it's too far away.
Why did someone come up?
Yeah. So let's start to wrap up this part of the conversation. If we feel.
If there's one more council meeting before they go on holiday,
Yeah.
why we about when they go on holiday?
Yeah.
They have to think about other than having.
Yeah.
That's when they come back, they're going to do something else.
Yeah.
I think
Is there a council
we
meeting
have
in
the council
July?
right now, and they're comfortable. We have to keep it on. That's what they
I think they're on their summer homes right now. Cancel. They're vacationing.
There might be one more, we'll figure it out. Okay. On to the next agenda point.
You can have a first one. People do that first one, never went somewhere.
So I think there's a lot of good ideas here. I think that we need to strike a balance between some of the ideas that are focused on doing public education and propaganda and outreach to our own community to get stronger. So I really like the idea that the brother brought up of going out and talking to homeless people and asking them would they want to live at 58 West Hastings, because it also raises the issue with them and hopefully brings them on side for actions and for fighting for 58 West Hastings. And just doing other flyering and propaganda and outreach, like Kevin was saying, getting out and actually talking to other people on the streets and growing our movement. And then we had some good ideas for different types of actions. So to do an action at City Hall on the September 19th. And I like Erica's idea, we could do a lot of drumming and going around City Hall, and then maybe at some point go in. Right, to challenge them, combine those actions. Laurel raised the idea of doing regular blocking of Hastings during the election to raise the issue. We could do it sometime when it's pretty disruptive, and that would make the politicians have to respond to the issue potentially.
Block the light lanes.
Boomer suggested street theater, so that could be combined into any of these actions, like a way of representing the reality of homelessness. Disruptive meetings. Yeah, so we need to talk about some of these other tactics like pole sitting and tent cities. These are things that are potentially effective militant tactics. They also take a lot of work. Like if Miles is sitting on a pole, we got to be there to support him so that he doesn't starve to death. We know that there's a tent city in the downtown east side every single day. It's here. It's just dispersed. So we can't ignore the importance of that tactic of bringing those folks together and making a visible tent city. But we also have to remember it takes a lot of work and energy to organize that and make those effective and safe communities for folks. Doing takeovers of City Hall, I think this is one that we should look to for after the election when the new council comes in as maybe like a fairly immediate welcome.